So you gave the example of the relationships with the folks, who don't have. What other kind of giving is part of the culture in the rancher community?
So, one of the things that I was thinking about is that there's scholarship opportunities often, very often. And so ranchers will encourage others to go into agricultural industry, ag business, ag science, different kinds of possibilities, and offer scholarships to graduating seniors from their local communities or from their county communities. There are livestock shows, and so ranchers will go and attend. And when the kids show the livestock, it could be a pig, it could be sheep, it could be goats, it's all kinds of possibilities. But in the larger shows, the grand champion is sold off, and sometimes for big money. And it might be a bank that shows up to buy it. It might be an oil and gas company that shows up to buy it. But I can guarantee you the ranchers will be there sowing seeds into the lives of those kids for doing what they're doing.
So
And so
Reynolds, the proceeds for these kind of events are going to go to what?
directly to the kid to help them cover all the cost of the feed and all the cost of travel to go to the show to learn about livestock and animals and competition, etc. But then there are so many other possibilities of giving. I mean, just your traditional within the community, someone's having a struggle, there's fundraisers for cancer, there's fundraisers for a family who someone lost their life and you want to help with the funeral expenses. I mean, ranchers come typically from small towns. And in that small town environment, you're very, very connected. You may not have the same last name, but it feels like everybody's family. I grew up in a community of 1,000 people,
Wow.
and I really feel that because of my mom and dad and that small town experience, giving was just a part of who we were because you knew everybody, you loved everybody, you were connected to everybody. This is very much a country way of living, whether you're a rancher or not. It's country living. It's like Little House on the Prairie.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but I want to just quickly touch upon what you mentioned, and then I want to go back to LaShawn. Uh, the the community culture that you spoke about here is really interesting. There are across the United States and across the globe, but certainly across the United States, there are some sometimes very large foundations that are raising significant capital to do all kinds of things. Maybe they're building a research center, and maybe they're actually giving funds to people in the community, et cetera, et cetera. Am I hearing from you that people are not, obviously, if that's available, great, but you're not going to wait for the big foundations? You're going to kind of come and make it happen on your own?
Right. There's no application process, right? There's no application process. You're connected. You already know each other.
You know who
And
needs, and is it
right.
is it embarrassing for the person who needs, or it's like, okay, last time I was down and everybody helped me out. This time my neighbor's down. We're all going to help him out. How does that work?
It's the ebb and flow. It's the genuine, authentic process of
Yes.
life of going through the hilltops and the valleys. I personally went through cancer with 1% odds to survive. My husband was teaching in one school district. I was teaching in another school district, the next county over. And then I had grown up in yet a different school district, a couple of counties over. All three counties, all three school districts, all three communities activated, pitched in, and I can't even begin to tell you how profoundly they showered us with love and support and help. I couldn't have done it on my own. And it didn't, in that instance, matter if I was a rancher or not. I was just a part of the West Texas culture. I was a
Yeah.
small town kid living my best life out in the West as a country girl, a West Texas country girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think the precious part of that, Revis, I love your walk, and it's a beautiful walk, and how folks, yes, did that, and how you have just shown. What's my word I'm looking for? But just brilliantly came through all this, and that's exactly right. And I think the thing that country folks do, or even other folks do, when they give or they do, it's not like, look at me, I'm going to give this. A lot of that's just done privately, or it's just something that's sent to your mailbox, or it's just something that shows up under your desk, or And that is one great thing. I think the giving is really done not for the pride part of it, of look what I'm doing, but it truly is for the genuine love that you have for that person or that family. We had a huge fire in Fort Davis where Revis is talking about. And I mean, it was almost the next day where we knew the families were some of these homes. We didn't lose lives, we lost homes. I mean, it was just like that. All the area was coming in, helping, making things happen before anybody else came in. But that's just what you do naturally. It's just one of those, I think it kind of is a small town thing or a country thing, but it's one of those things you know without a doubt, you're waking up that next morning to go help out those folks.
So,
Just
LaShawn,
like
maybe the difference
you're,
here between what the city folks and the country folks, how they might address a challenge like a fire, is what you just said. You said that we had a fire in Fort Davis, but you don't live in Fort Davis. You live
not
how
anymore.
far you
I
live from
did
Fort Davis?
about 4 hours. But
You live,
I was living there at the time, and so I was able to help out. But I still was such a part of that community and loved that community. But yes, it is a we thing. It doesn't matter if it's right here in Bracketville with the situation. It is a we thing because it is considered family and it's considered not them. I've never thought about them. It's like, let's go. Let's get, you want to help all those just right around you. That's for
and
sure.
and LaShawn, what you said about that quiet gift, which is amazing because, of course, that means that the person, not only are they not embarrassed to receive the support, they don't even know who gave them the support. They couldn't say no. They couldn't send it back, even if they tried. And I'm careful not to promote the book that I wrote called Kosher Giving. I'm really not promoting it. I'm just pointing out that in that book, I actually referred to the Maimonides, the teachings of Maimonides from about 1,000 years ago, and how he teaches about the different types of giving, or essentially he refers to them as different levels of giving. And one of the highest levels of giving is actually giving without people knowing that who it's coming from. There's also giving and not knowing who it's going to, but not knowing who it's coming from, because you spare the person that any degree of embarrassment, even if everyone's pitching in. And I really think that's amazing.